everybody, it's Kendra here from This DIY Mom Life. Welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these little baskets out of hemp. They're very quick and simple and just a cute little idea for decorating, holding little small trinkets. They also are an option. You can use the same techniques to make a larger basket if that's what you're going for. I'm going to take you through making these little ones today. However, it's easy to kind of expand on and use any way that you choose. Alright, so let's jump in. So to make these baskets, you will need some of the thick hemp. This one's natural polished hemp, it's just from Walmart. As well as some different colored threads. Of course, you can just use white. However, alternating colors really does make a different effect when you're sewing with it, and it really picks up. So like you can see how dark that blue looks. If you want something more subtle, you probably maybe want to go with like this violet. I was thinking of trying this today. And you can always stick with a white or a natural color as well. So you need that, and then you will also be needing your sewing machine, and you need to have some extra bobbins to fill up to match for your basket. I've gone ahead and filled up my bobbin, and you will want to keep in mind that if you are making a larger basket, you'll probably want several bobbins filled up because it does use up a lot of thread in the basket making. I'm also going to go ahead and choose a zigzag stitch for my machine. That's probably the best option, but really you want it to go back and forth to be able to catch kind of the rounds of the hemp as you go. There are other options here that would also work, probably number 19 or 20, anything that is wider like that, but I'm going to stick with a basic zigzag. So if you're wanting to make a round basket, you'll want to begin by coiling some into a circle. Now this works well when you do a little bit, you stick some pins in, and it's just to get it started. You're eventually going to be doing your zigzag stitch around as you continue to coil it up. But to start with, probably approximately this much is the best. Now, if you want to make more of an oval bottom basket, you'll want to start with a longer first section, kind of pinch it together, and again, you'll want to use pins for this and begin your zigzag that way. One last thing to keep in mind with your stitch length is the width and the length. And this is something you can kind of play around with. I'm going to start off just with my standard lengths. But sometimes it is helpful if you're finding you're not catching your coils very well to set your zigzag to be wider so that it catches more space each time you go around. Narrower will push them closer together. And so again, it's just kind of trial and error to see what works. Alright, so I'm ready to begin. I've got the coil just kind of wedged under my foot, and I'm going to get my zigzag going and just start feeding it through. And I'm just going to be going around and around. I want to keep it as flat as possible as I add on the coils. You can see it doesn't want to feed very well. I know I just had some issues with my feed dogs, but I am going to just kind of lift it and kind of coax it along until it gets some traction to keep going. Probably not recommended. I am using my little screwdriver that I think this one came with my serger just to kind of help feed it. It will break the needle if it hits it, but it is not my goal to do so, and I'd rather it hit my screwdriver than hit my finger. Gonna put my needle down, give it a little turn. Again, this first little baby circle is kind of the most challenging. Now that my coil is increasing in size, it is getting easier to manage, and it will kind of pick up from here on. So you can see I'm getting going here, and that it is kind of messy. I have found when doing these, really it's kind of a challenge getting going, and if it bothers you, the look of it, you can go back and put more stitching after, both to reinforce it and to make it look a little bit prettier, but it does get more consistent now that we are going around. One thing I would note that I have found helpful with this thickness of hemp, I kind of tried to look, see if you can get it really zoomed in here. You can see where my new coil is joining. I do try to line that seam up with my, I think it's the 1/8 of an inch mark. And that just really allows me to be able to see and make sure that my zigzag is catching both sides. Really, you're going to only have problems if you have large sections where you haven't caught on the new strand, or else where you're kind of veering one way or the other. You really want to try to sandwich it in with your zigzag stitches. You're going to keep going around and around until this base is as wide as you want the bottom of your basket to be. And now you can do little tiny baskets or big ones, but just keep on going until you're happy with the size, and we'll move on to the next step. So right here, I've decided this is how wide I want my base to be. And again, you can make this huge. You can use multiple balls of hemp. There are no rules to this. But what you're going to do to make it curve up is hold it vertical. So that's going to allow you to kind of sew on the edge and start curving up for the sides of your basket. You still want to hold it tight, and you still want to make sure that you're zigzagging both sides as you go. I do try to hold it up as tight to the foot as I can, just to give it that as much straight up as I can. So this little baby basket has this tall of sides so far, and I think that's all I'm going to do. Like I said, my plan is to have 2 or 3 baskets this size to display decoratively. However, I just wanted to point out that this would be a great time if you wanted to switch up your color. Like with this light purple, it's not showing up so well with the sewing machine light, but to be able to do the violet and then do like a little bit of this tealy color on the top, or to do black and white, or whatever you choose. I think it looks really nice to do a strip at the top, but I am not going to do that today just because I am not, it's kind of not what I'm going for. But just to show you how to finish it, when you are happy with the height of your basket, you're going to go ahead and just give it a little snip where you want to be done. Okay, kid scissors, not really cutting it, but okay. And then as you go, you're just going to keep going around until you run out, and then just work that zigzag right back in. Now another option is on your final lap or your round to give little loops like this, and you can create a small handle. And you can do that on opposite sides. This time, like I said, I'm just going to finish it straight, but just as another idea for you. So here's my little basket. You can see it's looking fairly solid. However, I will say on my first attempt, I had a few spots where you could really see the light coming through, and like where I hadn't caught it all the way. And then I just went back with my zigzag and just went over those areas again. If there's anything that bothers you, or if there's any holes or anything, go ahead and go over it again. That's really all there is to it. I'm going to make up a couple more and show you what we're left with when we're done. So there you have it. There's 3 pretty little baskets using only a ball of hemp and some thread. I really hope you enjoyed this project. If you are interested in seeing more from me, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!